Good morning, students. In the previous class, we saw Stokes theorem and we solved example on Stokes theorem. In continuation with that, next is magnetic flux and flux density. The magnetic flux density B bar is similar to the electric flux density D bar. The relation between B and mu, as we are the relation between B and H, as we are aware that it is given by B is equal to mu into H, or B bar is equal to mu into H bar. If it is free space, then we have mu is equal to mu naught into mu r, right? So for free space, mu r is equal to 1, so we have only mu is equal to mu naught, or B bar will be given by mu naught H bar for free space, for the free space. So this magnetic flux density has the units of Weber per meter square, that it is the flux passing per unit area is called as the magnetic flux density. If the flux passing through the unit area is not exactly at right angles to the plane consisting the area, then the flux phi is given by, so what is the statement here? If the flux passing through the unit area is not exactly at right angles to the plane consisting of the area, then flux phi is given by phi is equal to surface integral B bar dot ds bar Webers. B is phi by A, so A and ds will cancel, so phi will remain. LHS is equal to RHS, where phi is the magnetic flux in Webers, B bar is the magnetic flux density in Weber per meter square, and ds bar is the surface through which the flux is passing. Phi is the flux, B is the flux density, and ds bar is the surface through which the flux is passing. Now consider the closed surface. So if we consider the closed surface, then the magnetic flux inside the closed surface will have a closed path, right? So the magnetic flux lines entering the surface is equal to the magnetic flux lines leaving the surface, right? So the flux entering the surface is equal to flux leaving the surface. So the net flux will be equal to 0 always for the closed surface, right? So we can write the integral B bar dot ds bar like this: surface integral of B bar dot ds bar, that is equal to 0. So why it is 0 here? Because the net flux is 0, the flux entering is equal to flux leaving the surface. So as the B is phi by A, so as the net flux is 0, so we can also write that the surface integral B bar dot ds bar is equal to 0. This is called as law of conservation of magnetic flux, or it is also called as Gauss law in integral form. Okay, applied to magnetic fields. If we apply divergence theorem to this equation, take it as equation, this equation is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So if we apply divergence theorem to the equation 3, right, we get, applying divergence theorem to equation 3, we get surface integral of B bar dot ds bar. So this will be, surface integral is converted into volume integral, is it not, for the divergence theorem? So volume integral of del dot B bar dV, that is equal to 0. Take it as 4. Here dV is the volume enclosed by the surface, or volume enclosed by the closed surface, is it not? So dV cannot be 0. In this equation, dV cannot be 0. So as dV cannot be equal to 0, we can write, what is the equation here? So del dot B bar dV is equal to 0, but dV cannot be equal to 0, so we can write del dot B bar is equal to 0. Integral of del dot B bar is equal to 0, or del dot B bar is equal to 0. What it indicates? Divergence of magnetic flux density is always 0. Del dot B bar is divergence of magnetic flux density, it is always equal to 0. This is called Gauss law in differential form. This is Gauss law in differential form. Gauss law in differential form for magnetic fields. Fine. Now let us see few of the equations, Maxwell's equations for static electromagnetic fields. Maxwell's equations for static electromagnetic fields, that is electric field as well as magnetic fields, static electromagnetic fields. So these equations we have already dealt in our previous modules. So first is Maxwell's equation in differential form. Maxwell's equations in differential form. So what are these equations? The first equation, del dot d bar, this is equal to rho v. Del dot d bar is equal to rho v, that is divergence of the electric flux density is equal to volume charge density. This is Gauss law. Fine. Then second equation, del cross E bar is equal to 0. Del cross E bar, that is the curl of electric field intensity is equal to 0. This is law of conservation of electric field. Law of conservation of electric field. Third equation, del cross H bar is equal to J bar. Del cross H bar is equal to J bar. This equation recently we have come across. This is Ampere's circuital law. Then fourth equation, del dot B bar is equal to 0. Just now we saw that in our previous topic, del dot B bar is equal to 0. This is law of conservation of the magnetic flux. Law of conservation of magnetic flux. Right. Then Maxwell's equation in integral form. Maxwell's equation in integral form. Okay. So what are these equations? The first equation, integral closed surface integral d bar dot ds bar is equal to volume integral rho v dv, that is equal to q. Right. So what is the equation here? The surface integral is converted into volume integral. Okay. So this is the equation which relates the surface integral to volume integral. Surface integral of d bar dot ds bar is equal to volume integral rho v dv, that is equal to q. This is the divergence theorem. Next, second equation, the closed integral of E bar dot dl bar is equal to 0. Okay. Then third equation, that is closed surface integral of h bar dot dl bar, that is equal to surface integral j bar dot ds bar, that is equal to I. Right. So this relates the line integral to surface integral. Okay. Then fourth equation, is the closed surface integral b bar dot ds bar is equal to 0. So these are few of the equations that we already covered in our previous modules. So this was just a recap of all those equations. Fine, students. The next topic, application of flux density. Application of flux density and flux to coaxial cable. Flux density and flux to coaxial cable. Application of flux density and flux to coaxial cable. Consider the coaxial cable here. So this is the inner surface. Then we have the outer surface. Okay. So this is the inner radius. the radius of the inner surface, that is A. Then we have the radius of the inner surface of the outer conductor. Inner surface of the outer conductor, it is B, right? So here the reference axis, we are considering it as the Z axis, that is, it is as good as a cylinder placed along the Z axis. So how the current will be flowing here? So in this, the current will be flowing, if it is the inner conductor, the current is centered towards the center here, right, towards the center. So it is flowing inwards, the current is flowing inwards in the inner conductor, whereas for the outer conductor, the current is diverging, that it is moving out, So we have the current direction outwards for the outer conductor. For the inner conductor, current is entering inside, right, towards the center, and for the outer conductor, it is diverging, that it is moving outside, right? So consider here, we are considering the surface. This is our inner radius A, right? So we are considering the radius B, that is the radius of the inner surface of the outer conductor, and we are considering the surface, that is R, which is in between A to B. So A is less than R, that is less than B. This is the region we are interested here. Fine. So with this diagram, next we will see, let us obtain the flux between the conductors of a coaxial cable. Let us obtain the flux. Between conductors of a coaxial cable. Conductors of a coaxial cable. So we saw the coaxial cable which is placed along the Z axis. The radius of the inner conductor is A, while the inner radius of outer conductor is B, right? And we saw the current convention, that for the inner conductor, current is directed inwards, and for the outer conductor, the current is directed outwards. So we have already derived the equation for H bar in the region when studying the applications of Ampere's circuital law. We have derived the equation for H bar. So H bar is given by I divided by 2 pi r A5 bar ampere per meter. That is H bar due to coaxial cable in the region A is less than R, that is less than B. So this equation we derived when we were studying the applications of Ampere's circuital law. Okay. So H bar due to coaxial cable. So we are interested in the flux in the region between A is less than R, that is less than B. The cable is filled with air as dielectric, that is in between the two conductors, that is in between the inner conductor and the outer conductor, it is filled with air medium. So we have mu is equal to mu naught. Therefore B bar will be given by mu naught into H bar, that is mu naught into H bar is, take it as 1 mu naught into I divided by 2 pi r A5 bar Weber per meter square. Take it as second equation. Let D be the length of the conductor. Length of the conductor is D. Magnetic flux is contained between the conductors in a length D, and in between R equal to A to R equal to B, right? So we have the region between from R equal to A to R equal to B, that is the flux exists in between R equal to A to R equal to B. So this is A, this is B. In between these two, in between R equal to A to R equal to B, there is a flux. So we are finding out this flux, okay, between A to B, right? Then we have magnetic flux is given by phi is equal to surface integral B bar dot ds bar. the ds bar normal to a phi bar, ds bar normal to a phi bar direction is given by ds bar is equal to dr dz a phi bar. So how we got this equation for ds bar? So we know that for the cylindrical system we have r phi z, right? So we are finding the ds bar normal to a phi bar. So as we have seen the equation for h bar, this equation for h bar, it is directed in the a phi bar direction, is it not? So the surface which is perpendicular to this a phi bar direction, that is ds bar, it is given by the product of the other two coordinates, that is r and z, multiplied by the unit vector in the same direction, that is a phi bar, right? So ds bar is equal to dr dz a phi bar. I hope everybody are following here, students, right? So ds bar is equal to dr dz a phi bar. Now substitute this in this. So phi is equal to integral z equal to 0 to z equal to d, that is the length of the conductor, and integral r equal to a to r equal to b, right? B dot ds bar, b bar dot ds bar. So what is b bar dot ds bar? You already obtained the equation for b bar here. So it is mu naught I divided by 2 pi r dot ds bar. Ds bar is dot of dr dz then a phi bar. Okay, this is mu naught mu by 2 pi r a phi bar it is. So a phi bar dot a phi bar will be equal to 1. Dot product of a phi bar dot a phi bar is 1. So what will be our next equation then? Our next equation will be, so this is equal to mu naught I divided by 2 pi mu naught I divided by 2 pi. Okay, mu naught I divided by 2 pi, then integral of dz with respect into z, integral with respect to z dz is z, then integral, this is 0 to d over the limits, then integral of 1 by r is ln r over the limits a to b. So on simplification what we get, students? Mu naught I divided by 2 pi, okay, 2 pi mu naught id divided by 2 pi ln of b minus ln a, or that is phi is equal to mu naught id divided by 2 pi ln b by a Weber, fine. So this is the equation, students, for the application of flux density and flux to coaxial cable. That is, we have derived the equation for the flux for the coaxial cable in between the two conductors, that is in between the inner conductor and the outer conductor. The flux is given by phi is equal to mu naught id divided by 2 pi ln of b by a Webers. So this is for the first session of today's class, students. In this class we have covered the topics, various topics we have covered. We have started with the magnetic flux and flux density, right? We derived the equation for magnetic flux and flux density. Okay, we derived the equation for the magnetic flux and flux density. So that is del dot b bar is equal to 0, differential form, Gauss-Lorentz differential form. Then Gauss-Lorentz integral form, that is surface integral b bar dot ds bar is equal to 0, right? Then we wrote a few of the equations. That was just a recap of the previous equations what we dealt in our previous modules. Then later we took up the topic on applications of flux density and flux to coaxial cable, where we derived the equation for the flux in between the inner conductor and the outer conductor. So that's all for today's class, students, right? Hope you understood. If there are any queries, send your queries to me. I will answer to your queries. Thank you.